Дай гранату!
Successful attacks were launched by Ukrainian soldiers on Russian positions west of Klashivka. Welcome to the channel. Today in the program, as always, we continue to bring you the latest official news from Ukraine in the last 24 hours. In today's program, unexpected news: the US has allocated $65 billion to Ukraine to fight Russia. Russia will not achieve military victory in Ukraine, top US commander. As long as Volodymyr Zelensky remains in power, there will never be any peaceful negotiations, former president of Russia. Kremlin responds to Ukrainian threat to kill Putin. Drones struck again on the territory of Russia. Zelensky demanded that Iran stop supplying Russia with weapons. Now let's go into more details. Ukraine Zelensky to Iran: why support Russia and terror? Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged Iranians to reconsider the supply of deadly drones to Russia in order to stop their slide into the dark side of history. Iranian-made rocket 136 drones supplied to Moscow have played a major role in Russia's attacks on cities and infrastructure, though Zelensky said Kiev's air defenses are not skilled at downing them. About 900 of 1,160 drones aimed at Ukrainian targets were shot down. The simple question is this: what is your interest in being an accomplice to Russian terror? Zelensky said in his nightly video address. What is the benefit to Iran of such cynical killing? By Russian hands, but with your weapons. Your shaheds, which terrorize Ukraine every night, mean only the people of Iran are being driven deeper and deeper into the dark side of history. Attack drones hit buildings in Krasnodar, Russian governor. Two unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, damaged buildings in Krasnodar on Friday after local media reported that an explosion was heard in the southern Russian city. The governor of Krasnodar, Veniamin Kondratyev, said no major infrastructure was impacted and said there were no casualties following the incident. State news agency TASS reported that the city's emergency call center was alerted to an explosion on Morskaya Street early Friday. Emergency services were sent to the scene. No casualties have been reported. There was damage to the building's roof and windows, but no fire, according to TASS. Kremlin responds to Ukrainian threat to kill Putin. Ukraine's leadership has again demonstrated its terrorist nature by threatening to assassinate President Vladimir Putin, Kremlin Press Secretary Dmitry Peskov has said, while giving assurances that the Russian leader is well protected. A terrorist regime talks about its terrorist aspirations, Peskov told the Russia 24 broadcaster on Thursday. The spokesman was commenting on an acknowledgement by Vadim Skibitsky, deputy head of Ukraine's main Directorate of Intelligence, GUR, who told the German outlet Die Welt on Wednesday that Putin was on his agency's kill list. Peskov stated such statements show that the military operation launched by Russia in Ukraine in February 2022 was more than justified, more than necessary, and that it must be completed. When asked if the Russian president's security detail had been boosted after the threat from Kiev, Peskov replied, "Trust me, our security services know their job and know what they're doing." Russia says West is underestimating risk of nuclear war. A former Russian president and prime minister warns that the West is underestimating the risk of nuclear war and says peace negotiations are impossible as long as President Volodymyr Zelensky remains in power. There are irreversible laws of war. If it comes to nuclear weapons, there will have to be a preemptive strike, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, was quoted as saying by Russian news agencies. The Anglo-Saxons do not fully realize this and believe that it will not come to this, the senior ally of President Vladimir Putin stated, adding it will under certain conditions. Medvedev also said it is inevitable that the war will end due to negotiations, but as long as these people are in power, the situation for Russia will not change, referring to the Zelensky administration. Russia will not achieve military victory in Ukraine, top US commander. Russia will not achieve a military victory in Ukraine, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley stated, while also cautioning that Kiev is unlikely to force out all of Moscow's troops anytime soon. This war militarily is not going to be won by Russia. It's just not, Milley told journalists at the Pentagon. Pentagon reveals value of military aid pumped into Ukraine. The so-called Ukraine Defense Contact Group has committed almost $65 billion in military aid to prop up Kiev in the ongoing conflict with Moscow, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has revealed. The Pentagon boss made the estimate during the 12th meeting of the group, which brings together all 31st NATO nations as well as a handful of non-aligned countries. Washington is committed to standing with Ukraine for the long haul, Austin announced. In total, the contact group has committed nearly $65 billion in security assistance, he said, claiming that Ukraine's backers remain as united as ever. And last week, President Biden announced that the United States will support a joint effort with our allies and partners to train Ukrainian pilots on fourth-generation aircraft, including F-16s. We hope this training will begin in the coming weeks, Austin declared. The information in today's video consisted of these. If you want to support our work, like the video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next videos. Bye.